Hello, everyone. I hope that y'all had an amazing Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or any other holidays that you celebrate, I hope it has been absolutely amazing. And with the new year right around the corner, I want to share some tips on how to reflect and how to plan for the new year. The first thing is, I am a huge fan of writing things down and making a plan. Now, with that said, I totally understand that you can write, you can plan, you can do all the things, and then life can just completely take a different turn and flip the script, and you have to change things up and do something totally different. We've seen that over the last 2 or 3 years, haven't we? There's nothing wrong with at least making like a template for how you would like for the year to go. Goals that you want to work on, things that you want to come true for the new year. So we're going to work on writing down our plans and writing down our goals. The first thing you want to do as you are writing down your goals, your wishes, your plans for the new year is don't get caught up on the look of how you want to go about writing these things down. You don't have to go out and buy an expensive journal. You don't have to do one of those vision boards that is shellacked and shiny. You don't have to buy a bunch of magazines and clip things out and buy an expensive frame and make a little montage and make a little, shrine. You could just do a simple journal. For me, something that I heard about on TikTok is called the year compass. You can't see it because it's going to be backwards, but it says year compass. And what you do is you reflect on the current year and then you start planning for the new year coming up. It's maybe like 20 pages of little workbook like exercises that you can do. And I'm going to fill these out tonight, have some green tea, and just plan and reflect. And this is just some pages that I printed out and stapled together. I also have just your basic journal. It's all hardcover journals. All my journals are hardcover because I do write in my journals a lot, and I save my journals so that I can pass them down to my kids, or if my kids have kids, I'll pass them down to my grandkids one day, whoever wants them. So they're like little books. So you can write your vision down in a journal. It doesn't have to be hardcover. It could be a spiral notebook. Don't get caught up in what it looks like, because that's not the most important part of the step. You do not need a shrine. You do not need to frame it. You just need to write it down. I remember I was watching the movie Eat, Pray, Love, where Julia Roberts is playing an author. Her name is Elizabeth Gilbert. And I don't know if this happened in real life, but in the movie, Julia Roberts, she's trying to meditate. And she's having trouble meditating because she's trying to focus on what she wants her meditation room to look like, how she should decorate it. Don't get stuck on that step. We just want to write our goals down, okay? Let's move on to the next thing. When we figure out where we want to write down our goals, I want you to write down 5 things that you want to accomplish this year. It could be places you want to go. It could be things you want to do. It could be things that you want to come true. Just make it 5 things. We don't want to be scatterbrained and write down a million steps, and then at the end of the year when we reflect, we're upset because we didn't accomplish all 10 things. We want to focus on 5 things. Doesn't mean that there's a million other things that we don't want to happen, but again, we are just going to shrink it down, focus on 5 things. The next step is we are just going to write down 5 things that we want to focus on for this new year. Not 10 things, not 20 things, not a million things. we want to condense everything into 5 things. It could be things that we want to do, things that we want to see, places we want to visit, things that we wish to happen. We're going to shrink that down into 5 key focuses for the year. That's not to say that there's not a million things that we wish we, could come true. But we don't want to be scatterbrained and we don't want to overload ourselves. So we're just going to pick 5 big things off of our list in our head and our hearts of the things that we want to see happen in the new year. Then we're going to take those 5 things and break each of those 5 things into 5 steps. So if you want to buy a house, step 1 would be maybe credit repair. Step 2, get a second job so you can save money for a down payment. Step 3 might be speaking with a realtor to look at homes. Step 4 might be to start cleaning up your current home so that when you are ready to list it, you're not frantic and trying to get everything organized and fixed and cleaned up for a realtor to look at it. Step 5 might be researching where you want your kids to go to school. You're going to break each 5 of those goals into 5 steps each. There's this quote, I don't know where it originated, but the quote basically says, "How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time." Now, I'm not telling y'all to go eat elephants or anything crazy like that, but when you have big goals, the best way to tackle those goals is to make a step-by-step, bite-by-bite plan on how you're going to attack those goals. So 5 and 5, 5 goals, 5 steps on how you're going to achieve each of those goals. And that will simplify it and that will take away some of the overwhelm. The next thing is give yourself time to achieve these goals. Yes, we are writing down the things that we want to come true for this next year, but we want to be realistic, okay? If you have $0 in the bank, okay, unless you have a job that is well over 6 figures, you're not going to save $100,000, okay? Not even with the side hustle, unless you win the lottery or a long lost family member left you money in the will. That might be possible for some of you, but for most of us, that something like that would not happen. So you want to be realistic when you are setting down your goals. Yes, I am all for visions and having big dreams that only God or the universe can make come true. But when you make these big crazy goals and they don't happen, you turn it back on yourself and you start to beat yourself up and think that there is something wrong with you, when the issue was you just set an unrealistic goal for you to achieve. For example, you're not going to lose, just making up something, you're not going to lose 500 pounds in a year, at least not in a healthy way, okay? So we want to be realistic. Maybe focus on losing 100 pounds in a year so that you give yourself room to do it in a healthy way and that you don't crash. You're not going to have 5 kids in 1 year if you want to start a family, things like that. So you just want to be realistic when it comes to setting your goals. I also want you to understand that even though we have the best of intentions, we write down our 5 goals, we don't let it stress ourselves out, we write down 5 steps on how we're going to make these goals come true. Understand that you might very well achieve everything in a year. But some of us might not. We might only achieve 1 thing or 2 things or 3 things or 4 things. But if you achieve something, that is good, okay? So understand that, we're making our plan, which is great. I'm proud of you. But life is honestly out of our control. we can plan and plan and plan and focus and work towards our goals, and then something happens and just shakes the whole thing up. So if at the end of the year, nothing on your list is accomplished, but you can be honest with yourself and say, well, I was actively taking steps towards making these things happen, then you can pat yourself on the back and be proud of yourself. But the flip side of that is, if you just wrote this stuff down and you put it away and you did nothing to make any of these things come true, okay, then still don't beat yourself up. Be honest with yourself. You didn't put in the work, okay? That's a key thing when it comes to making vision boards and writing down your plan and your goals, is people forget that step. Yes, you ask for what you want. You believe that you're going to get it. One day you'll receive it. But there's a part that I want to move ask and believe, and I want to move believe and receive apart and fit in work. Ask, believe, work, receive. You got to put in the work. Is it cool to wish that you get a house by the end of next year? Yeah. But let's be realistic. The odds of somebody just handing you a house are realistically not in your favor. Have you saved for a down payment? Have you looked at houses? Have you cleaned up your current spot so that you can sell it? Or if it's an apartment, so that you can get your security deposit back? If you're not taking any steps to make these goals come true, don't be disappointed at the end of the year if nothing has changed, okay? Like I said, it is possible to get lucky and have these things handed to you on a silver platter, but realistically, most people, you and me, we're gonna have to put in the work. So if you are just doing this as a fun, cute exercise, which it should be, and you're expecting for everything to happen overnight, or you expect for everything to happen without any effort on your part, you will more than likely be disappointed next year. With that said, there are several things that I have written down over the years that have come true, but again, I had to put in the work to make those things happen. I remember writing down in 2020, I think it was 2020, that I wanted to go viral. I wanted my posts to go viral, and I wanted to gain a following on social media. That actually wound up happening that same year, a couple months later. But in the meantime, I was posting content. I was getting to know other creators. For a short time, I researched analytics and all that stuff, but that's really not my thing, at least not yet. But I actually put out content. I actually listened to the things that people were interested in posting, and that worked out for me. But if I wasn't posting any content, or I just haphazardly posted things, you can go viral doing that. But if I didn't put in the work, that was not going to happen. So that is the part. Ask, believe, work, receive. Don't forget, you have to make an effort. The next thing is, if I were you, I would not tell anyone about the goals that I was working towards. For me personally, I am an open book. I love to share the things that I am working on. I love to share the things that I am doing in my life. So if I share my goals and somebody says, well, that's not going to happen, for me, I'm going to do that just to prove you wrong. At that point, it ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm going to show you who the heck you're talking to. But for most people, if you go off and you tell them, hey, I want to do this particular thing, the moment that their face, even looks disapproving, you start to doubt yourself and you start to not put in as much effort. So if I were you, I would not tell anybody, not even your best friend, what you want to do as you are writing down your goals and the things that you want to accomplish for this coming year. And you might say, why can't I tell my best friend of 25 years? Why can't I tell my sister or my mom? Because there's one thing that I have learned is that when people are triggered by something, the kindest people will just turn into the meanest people. I'm going to say losing weight because I need to lose a couple pounds that I have gained over the last few years to get back into my clothes. So let's say, for example, I tell someone, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds. And they know they need to lose weight. That's what they personally want to do, but they're not ready to make those changes. They're not ready to take those steps. And now that they see you eating healthier and going for walks every day, they now have a mirror in front of their face of the things that they're not doing. Now that they're seeing you get results, now they're frustrated because they don't want to put in the work, and now you're 2 steps ahead of them, and that's frustrating. And instead of them encouraging you, they're going to try to stop you and discourage you and bring you back to their level so that they can stop being challenged and so they can start being comfortable again. If I decide I want to lose 20 pounds, I'm not going to say anything. And then when you start to notice and I can't hide it anymore, I'll say, yeah, I've been working towards getting back to my weight that I was 2 or 3 years ago. And then if they act funny at that point, then maybe think about whether or not you want to continue with that relationship, because anyone who wants to tear us down or bring us back to where they're at, that's not somebody that should be in our lives anyway. So for as long as you can, keep your goals to yourself. It's just more peaceful that way. And besides, you can go on this app, you can go on TikTok and find several people who are also losing weight, and you can follow their journey and be a part of their journey and comment on their videos and support each other. So there is no end to the amount of support of like-minded people that you can get out into the world. You don't have to just rely on your family or the people closest to you. So just be mindful of who you tell when you are writing down your goals. If you do decide to tell people about your goals, if they are positive, great. I think that's amazing. Lean on their support. If they are negative, again, just remember what I said. When people get triggered and they're faced with the fact that they're not doing the things that they've always wanted to do, or they're not putting in the effort, they tear others down. They want to pull you back to their level so that they can feel comfortable again. So just take the negativity and just be like, you know what, that's their problem, and stay focused. But if you can, please have the discipline to just keep it to yourself as long as you possibly can. The next thing is, don't start buying a bunch of stuff. Don't start buying a bunch of diet equipment. Don't get a gym membership. Don't completely buy a bunch of diet food in your kitchen. That is the easiest way to waste money. If you're wanting to buy a house, don't buy a bunch of architectural magazines and books. Don't start spending money on stuff. Stop. Plus, there's tons of resources online for free, okay? You're watching this video. There is Google. There is YouTube. You can get the resources you need for free. If one of your goals is losing weight, maybe start by walking around your neighborhood. Maybe start by watching some exercise videos on YouTube, on this app, for free. Don't pay for a gym membership, and then the first week of January you have the discipline and you wake up at 5 a.m. and then you go, and then after that, when it starts getting cold and you start getting tired in the morning, you waste your money, and most gym memberships are non-refundable. So be realistic with your money, okay? Start with what you have. The more money you spend trying to make your goals come true, I feel like, just for me personally, the less likely that you are to actually make the goals come true. Because to me, if you're spending all this money, in your mind, it feels like you've already accomplished your goal. So you're less likely to just go ahead and make it come true. So just save your money. Don't start buying a bunch of crap. Rely on your free resources that you have to get the information that you need to do the things that you want to do. If you want to buy a house, you do not have to go out and buy a bunch of architectural magazines and home magazines. That you have Google, okay? You can look at pictures, endless pictures of houses, okay? If you want to write a book, there are tons of articles on step-by-step guides on how to write a book in 30 days, how to write a book in a year, how to write a book in a week. Start there. You don't have to buy a bunch of books. You don't have to buy gym equipment. You don't have to buy a membership. Stop spending money, okay? Use what you have. Don't exhaust yourself. Plus, if you go out and you spend all this money, if you don't achieve this goal, then you're going to beat yourself up because you invested all this money and you didn't get the results that you wanted. You don't need a treadmill. Walk around your neighborhood. Do a workout video on YouTube. You don't need Architectural Magazine and Better Homes and Gardens. Look at the pictures on YouTube, okay? You don't have to buy travel books and this and that. There's tons of travel videos on TikTok of people who travel. That's what they do for a living. There's videos on YouTube of people who travel. Just use free resources, okay? There you go. When you write your goals down, I need you to put them away. There are people who are going to suggest that you make this big vision board, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that you put it where you can see it. You write your goals and you put them on your mirror. For me, it stresses me out because it's a reminder of every day how far to the goal I am not. Now I'm constantly reminded of, oh, now I got so much more weight to lose. I got 10 more steps. And any day that I don't put in as much effort, maybe because I'm tired or sick or life happens, and I'm beating myself up because I didn't put any effort in it today, we're going to stop that, okay? Write down your goals, make your vision board, put it in the back of your closet, put it in the back of your sock drawer, put it under your bed, put it away. That is the least stressful way, to me, for my goals and dreams to come true. And then when I come back at the end of the year and I'm reflecting, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that and it came true. And that is a huge reward for me. So we're going to eliminate the stress of the constant reminder of where we are not and how much further we have to go. And we're just going to write it down, okay? And we're going to put it up. Now, if you've written steps, maybe you can set a reminder in your phone, and once a week, or I would do once a month, go back, look at your steps, and see what you need to be working on. But don't put it in front of your face and then stress yourself out. Write it down, put it up. Don't add a bunch of clutter to your mirror or to your walls or reminders. Less stress. I think that is also a big key in making your dreams come true. Taking the pressure off of yourself. There was one year when I had all my goals written down on the year, and every time I would come home and come in my room, it was just jarring to see all this stuff that I haven't achieved yet. It was just a constant, when I would wake up, it was a reminder of all the stuff that I have to do. Do you see what I'm saying? So we want to take that kind of stress off of ourselves, okay? Write it down, make your vision board, put it up. Any goals that you do not achieve this year, as long as you are honest and you know that you put in the effort, any goals that you did not achieve this year, we're going to put them on our list for next year, okay? It's not a lost cause. As long as we are alive, We got time, okay? So if we reach the end of next year and there's stuff we didn't achieve, it's going on the list for next year, okay? We're not going to give up, and we're not going to beat ourselves up. And we're going to take that pressure off of ourselves that regardless of what life throws at us, we're going to make this happen no matter what. I mean, if something happens in the family, if we get sick, we're still got to No, calm down. Less stress. Remember, we want to eliminate stress. This is supposed to be fun, okay? So if you have a goal to buy a house, but something comes up and you have to spend your money on that particular emergency, it's okay. We'll get a house next year, all right? If your goal is to lose 100 pounds and you only lost 50, let's celebrate that you lost 50. And then we'll lose the next 50 next year, okay? As long as you are alive, you have time. Remove the pressure. Life is already adding pressure. We don't want to add it voluntarily and make things worse, okay? After all is said and done, and you've written down your goals, you've made your vision board, you've written down your 5 steps, you've done your 5 baby steps, you've been realistic, you haven't told anyone, you've put your vision board or your goal sheet away, okay? You've done that. The last step is I want you to clean up your house or your apartment or your room if you rent a room or live with someone. And I want you to organize. There is just something about going into the new year and your bathroom is clean, your refrigerator is clean, your closet is organized, your living room is organized. There's just something, it just adds clarity and peace to your mind and body to look around and be able to take a deep breath, and there's not clutter everywhere and unnecessary stuff everywhere and trash everywhere. Just take the next couple of days and organize and clean up. You can do it all in a day. It might take you a whole entire day to sweep, mop, throw away things you don't need and throw away the clothes you're not wearing. But I promise you, you're sweating, you got your music on, you're grabbing a snack here and there, you put your phone on Do Not Disturb for a day, and when you look around and you see, you light a candle, because you gotta light a candle, or is it even clean if you don't light a candle? You light a candle after you're done cleaning, and then you look around and you're just like, oh, you just feel at peace. And it's just such a reward to go into the new year, to wake up in the new year and everything is fresh, clean, and reorganized. Literally the day after Christmas, I started organizing everything. I've done my living room. I've done my dining area. I've thrown away DVDs. I'm not watching any of them. Most of them were scratched. I finally threw all of them away. I was just staring at that clutter taking up space. I took down my Christmas tree the day after Christmas. And those of you who have trees up, you know what a big deal that is, because we tend to leave our stuff up until next Christmas. So when I took that Christmas tree down, it just felt really good. You know, to have that space, it just felt fresh and clear to have that out of the way. And now I don't have to worry about it mid-January or February. That task is done. My living room is clean and clear. And when I look at it, I just like take a breath of fresh air, and I'm so proud of myself. Today, I'm going to organize my closet because it looks like a jungle in there. And my closet is big, so I have my desk in there as well. So I don't want to be in there, you know, doing, reading over lines or researching something. And I'm just looking around and it feels like I'm just enclosed in this tight space, because it's not a tight space, but I have so much stuff in there that it does. So come New Year's Day, I will wake up and everything will be clean and it will just feel so peaceful. So do yourself a favor and take a day or two and just get everything organized. I promise you, you will thank yourself and you will love it and you will feel more at peace especially in your bedroom, waking up and there's no clutter and a pile of laundry on your bed and water bottles everywhere and pieces of lint and stuff on the floor. It's one of the biggest gifts, a free gift that you can give to yourself. So go ahead and clean up, organize every room where you live, and you will thank yourself for it. Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope that these tips helped you. I hope you had an amazing holiday, and I hope that you have a happy new year. Write down in the comment section if you have written down your goals, if you've done some cleaning and organizing. Let's encourage each other. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great new year. Bye.